Hey there everyone, and welcome to the channel for another Escape From Tarkov video. This time with a look at some builds and gameplay with the rifle that everyone seems to love to hate lately, the M4A1, which still remains up there as one of my favorite setups in the game, even though public opinion has kinda turned against it. Personally, I don't really buy the idea that it's bad now, just that it's no longer the best at everything all the time. As the game evolves and the meta shifts, inevitably guns that used to be S tier are going to be knocked down a peg, and guns that were once kind of iffy are going to rise up the ranks as things change. And this is only going to get worse as they individually tune each weapon in the game to be closer to what they were actually designed to do in the real world. The M4 may not be the god tier setup it once was, but that's okay. It still puts in work, and because of all the modding parts available in the game, the M4 honestly has more usable builds than pretty much any other weapon in the game, except maybe the AKM. And that right there is why I'll never stop using the M4. If you like to change up your build and get tired of staring at the same weapon on your screen for hours at a time, the M4 allows the weapon modding system to become its own game within the game, giving you tons of options to play around with. Sure, setting the M4 up as a competitive meta build can be pretty expensive, but guess what? So is basically every other competitive meta build in the game, but you don't have near as many options on pretty much any other weapon as you do with the M4. For this video, I've got two M4 builds that I'd like to share, and then a bunch of gameplay clips showing them in action against other PMCs, bringing down squads on shoreline and reserve, and getting out with some fat stacks of loot. First up, just to save some time, I'm going to cover the base parts on these builds to avoid repeating myself. Both of these have replaced the upper receiver with the MUR-1S receiver for extra recoil control, and I have the JP Gas System 5B as well to lower the overall recoil even more. For a charging handle, both builds are using the Avalanche charging handle, though the Raptor is just as good, so pick one of those two. Finally, both builds are also using the ASR 556 compensator and the Saker suppressor, which is definitely best in slot if you want to run a suppressor. Basically, if you have these parts on your build, whatever else you put on is kind of just flavor, and it's all going to run pretty well at the end of the day. For this first build, it's one of my personal favorites, almost a perfect mix of fashion and function, creating a build that is as nice to look at as it is to take out into the raid. I have the default 370mm barrel and the Geissele SMR handguard on here, which needs a pair of M-lock rails to add other attachments. Next, I've got the Magpul RVG foregrip and an X400 flashlight for some extra utility. For the sight, this build's running my favorite setup, a 6x voodoo scope set in the JP 30mm mount with a delta point reflex sight as a backup for when you need it. For the stock here, I swapped out to the advanced buffer tube and then the MOE carbine stock with a rubber butt pad. Finally, I have the Geissele S pistol grip for extra ergonomics and a pair of backup iron sights for 2 more ergo points. When this build is set up, I got 40 recoil and around 59 ergonomics for a total cost somewhere around 270,000 rubles, depending on the flea market prices for the handguard and the suppressor. The second build I'm going to go over here is actually one submitted by a Twitch viewer that honestly turned out to be quite effective as a little CQB build to fight in the hallways of the Shoreline Resort and the Ratacombs under reserve. This one is running the short 260mm barrel and the 10-inch SAI QD handguard, one of the best parts that you can add onto a short M4 build. On this handguard, I've got an AFG M-lock foregrip and then the Surefire XC1 flashlight, which can mount up on the top rail. For the sight, there's an Aimpoint T1 red dot up on top of an Aimpoint spacer to get a better sight picture. The stock on this build is kind of a unique one, and it's running the Ace SOCOM stock with the rubber butt pad for this thing as well to improve the stats. It's got a pretty cool look, and honestly the stats are pretty decent, so it doesn't hurt the build too much overall. Finally, I've got a Geissele S pistol grip again and some MBUS iron sights for the extra ergonomics. When this one's all set up, I end up with 41 recoil and about 64 ergonomics for a total cost somewhere in the range of 260,000 rubles, again depending on the flea market prices of the suppressor and the handguard. Well, with those builds out of the way, it's time to let some gameplay roll for the rest of this one. I had a really solid streak of successful raids with both of these builds, so I hope you enjoy, and let me know what you think down in the comments. Has the M4 fallen out of grace for you as well, or are you still running Tarkov's most modular and aesthetically pleasing rifle? In any case, thanks for watching the video. I've got links to my Twitch stream, Discord server, and Patreon page down below for anyone interested, and until next time, stay safe in Tarkov City. Oh, there's so many of them. The whole gang showing up. I brought the right tool for the job, though. Well, I killed someone. That wasn't the cleanest spray in the world, but boys, we got him. Yeah, I would say that Kaz and Jester 435 are probably like two of the most OG. Yo! Whoa! This shit's turning into a horror movie, boys.
Опачки!
Oh. Oh. What's the button to report VoIP again? Oh, that's what you get for being pieces of shit. Like, what kind of tasks are we talking here? Like, picking up the pocket watch or like Shooter Born in Heaven? Had to be patient there, but I got it. But when you still have stuff to unlock, it's totally worth it. You also got to keep in mind, there's at least 3 more months left in the wipe, you know? At least. Like, on a low end, we got 3 months to go. Ooh, hello. Right in the ears. Okay. Yes. Give me that. Thank you. Come on, get in there. Go off with that guy's gun. Oh, and this guy's gun. Fucking MDR brigade, boys. Alright, Moose, your build is working. Oh man. These guys are both kind of low level, just out here trying to get by. Oh my god, this is the worst aim that I've ever had, ever. That was like a full 60 round whiff. But to be honest, we both whiffed like an entire mag, so I feel slightly less bad. Actually, I'm just gonna take the fancy parts. Oh, and look at this! This guy's got my M4 with mags for me and everything. It was destiny.